Yo, what's going on with you guys, man? Here today we're gonna be reviewing the craziest, probably no, it's not even up for debate. This is probably the craziest just trade deadline of all time, at least at my lifetime, right? Maybe there was something like back in the day or before, I even just started following the NBA that was crazier than this. But even those who cover the media today, right? Those who've been around the game for a long time, those who've been again just covering the league for a long time, they're all saying that this is probably just the craziest um just trading week in just like history. So it definitely looks to be so because the amount of moves, the amount of new lineups, the amount of just different team comps that we have literally from just a week ago, right? Like if we just go back a week ago, we wouldn't even have thought it would be this different a week later, right? And here we are today. As you could just see by this is just some of the people, by the way. This little graphic you're looking at, which is also the thumbnail. This is just like the, I guess, the bigger names, right, that got traded. But there was just so many moves that was just made between literally even just today and the second, which was the very first like crazy trade, which was obviously the AD and Luca trade. But yeah, in this one, we're just gonna be just literally reviewing every single trade that's happened the 2nd of February, which is again the Luca and AD trade, which is where we're gonna begin, right? So on February 2nd, right, literally, I believe it was just like 12 a.m., right? We got the announcement that Luca was being traded to the Lakers. It was also actually Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris, right? They also got sent off with Luca to the Lakers, whereas the Mavs received Anthony Davis, Max Christie, who I am gonna miss, right? He definitely was starting to get into the groove of things. His last game against the Knicks, he did really, really good, and even before that, he was again just starting to find himself, and he was starting to play really, really good. So definitely am gonna miss him, and he even did really good on his first game as the Mavs, as a Mav, versus the 76ers. He had a really, really good game that game, right? So, and they also got a 2029 first round pick from the Lakers, right? So, also it was a 3-team trade. So the Utah Jazz received Jalen Hood-Schifino, which I mean, no Laker fan is gonna miss him if we're being honest, but yeah, Utah did get him, and they also got a 2025 second round pick and the 2025 second round pick again from the Clippers. So they got two 2025 second round pick, which is obviously the upcoming draft. So they'll be able to draft two players, I guess, right? So yeah, that was the big trade. That was probably, yeah, that was definitely the biggest trade of the whole thing, right? That's going to be the biggest trade that we discuss. So I guess, I mean, we could have saved it for last, but it was the very first one, right? Actually, of the trade list here. Obviously, there were trades before, like D'Lo for Dorian Finney-Smith. I believe the other day, PJ Tucker got traded, who I thought wasn't even in the league anymore. There was a few trades, but that was like before the big one. Again, we're just gonna start from the Luca and AD one, right? So, the next big trade that we got, or the next on the trade list that we got, is Spurs acquired De'Aaron Fox. That was also the second, I guess. I'm pretty sure that was later on during the day, right? Yeah, because Luca was like as soon as Saturday hit, I believe, and then later on in the day is when we seen the Fox trade to the Kings, or to the Spurs, right? They also got Jordan McLaughlin, who was, I think, a backup guard on the Kings, right? So the Kings received Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko from the Spurs, I guess. They also got a 2025 first round pick from the Hornets. They got a 2027 first round pick from the Spurs. They got a 2031 first round pick from the Timberwolves. They got a 2025 second round pick from the Bulls. They got a 2028 second round pick from the Nuggets, and they got a 2028 second round pick from the Bulls again, right? So the Bulls received Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, right? So obviously Zach Collins and Trey Jones were from the Spurs, and then Kevin Huerter was from the Kings, right? So this was another 3-team trade, right? So they Bulls also received a 2025 first round pick from the Spurs, right? So yeah, pretty good. This was probably second on the list in terms of like big trades. Fox and Wemby are definitely going to be a crazy combo. I cannot wait to see them get into action. Not sure if they have a chance of making the play-in. I think they're like 12 or 11 right now, but I mean, anything could happen, but I just highly doubt it. I feel like the teams that are like right above them, which is like the Kings, the the Suns, the Warriors. I don't know if those guys will fall off too far and have the Spurs overtake them. But anything could happen. Again, the duo definitely has potential, and the Spurs could definitely look good here in literally a few years, right? A few years from now, don't be surprised when Wemby's just getting chips back to back, right? Even, right? So we'll see in the long run how that goes. On the 3rd of February, the Hornets swapped picks with the Thunder. Hornets received the 2029 second round pick from the Suns, and then the Thunder received a 2030 conditional second round pick from the Nuggets. It was literally just pick swaps, right? We all know that Thunder just have like a crazy amount of picks in their arsenal, which is why they're just able to draft. They were able to get like first round picks from the past few years, right? They got Shed, they got J-Dub, they got Case and Wallace. So they've been getting a lot of those good draft pickups because of their picks that they just have in store. They have just pick for days, right? Picks for days. They probably are the team with like just the most like picks. I don't know like how it works, but I'm pretty sure they have like the best like pick arsenal, right? If you want to call it that. But yeah, on the 4th of February, the Mavs landed Caleb Martin, which if you guys don't know who that is, he definitely had a huge role in the 2023 Heat final run, right, along with Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent, who is now a Laker. Yeah, those he's from that crew, so he could bring some, I guess, some talent to the Mavs. I mean, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I mean, his stint on the 76ers wasn't too crazy, so I mean, I'm not gonna have my hopes up for it, right? So, and the Sixers received Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second round pick, so pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know. That one was more under the radar for obvious reasons, right? Caleb Martin and Quentin Grimes aren't really the biggest names that jump at you. But again, Caleb Martin did just come off of finals 2 years ago, so we'll see if he'll be able to lend some of that help to the Mavericks to get back to the finals, as obviously that's what they're looking to do. So, yeah, on the 5th of February, Daniel Theis went to OKC and a 2031 first round or second round pick, and the Pelicans received cash considerations. That's what the website says here, so I don't even know what that is, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Pelicans basically just gave up Theis and got some cash, again, consideration. So again, whatever that means. Up next, we got the Kings acquired Valanciunas from the, actually I think this is the very last one. Kings acquired Valanciunas from the Wizards. The Kings received again Jonas Valanciunas, and then the Wizards received Sidi Sissoko, which if you guys remember, he did just get traded from the Spurs, I believe, and then 2 future second round picks. So yeah, this was, to say the least, one of the craziest trade deadlines. I feel like I'm missing something, but I mean, I just went through the website. This is all that's here, and I don't think they'd be missing anything, right? Oh, actually, because it just happened. Jimmy Butler to the Warriors and Kyle Kuzma also to the Bucks. Chris Middleton went to the Wizards, and yeah, as you can see in the graphic here, Chris Middleton went to the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma is now a Bucks, a Milwaukee Buck, right? I guess that's how you say it. And then Andrew Wiggins, I believe. Dennis Schroeder went to the Jazz, and then I believe Kyle Anderson also went to the Heat with Andrew Wiggins, if I'm remembering that correctly. I can't really see anything here, but I'll probably just like post some pics of whatever I missed anyway, so you guys will be able to see it. But yeah, Jimmy Butler is now a Warrior, so excited to see how that's gonna go. We all know Jimmy Butler is just one of the craziest playoff risers ever, 2023, 2020, right? So he definitely isn't new to being a playoff riser, right? So we'll see what he does with the Warriors. I don't know. If you're asking me personally, I don't think it'll change anything. I just feel like Warriors are at best a playing team regardless, right? So we'll see what they'll be able to do with Jimmy, but I don't know. Andrew Wiggins going to the Heat. I mean, Tyler Hero and Bam, maybe they could do something over there. I mean, the East is competition, obviously nowhere near the West. So, I mean, Heat will probably make the first round or playoffs, right? If they're not playing, right? I think they'll definitely make the first round of the playoffs. And if anything, they'll probably just be a first round exit, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think, and if I did miss anything, definitely let me know down below. But I do think we actually covered everything with the Bucks and Wizards trade, and then also the Warriors Jazz Heat trade, right? That was the last one on the list. So those were more recent, which is why they're not on the website. I guess they'll probably update it soon. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. If I did miss anything, let me know down below. Obviously, the AD and Luka trade is probably just the biggest. That's going to be the biggest trade for like until they do another trade like that where they trade two all NBA people for each other, right? That's the only time you'll get a trade bigger than that, right? So yeah, gonna end this video here. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, allied. So we actually do have a little bit more to cover. I actually completely forgot. So we're actually gonna first real quick cover the Butler trade more in depth. So the Warriors received Jimmy Butler, and then the Heat received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, PJ Tucker, right? So remember, originally he was traded to, I believe, the Jazz, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I could just go back and check. We actually didn't review that one, but yeah, he was traded to he was traded somewhere with what was his name, Mo Bamba. Let me just go back and check real quick. Yeah, so he did get traded to the Jazz with Mo Bamba, right? So now he's on the Heat, right? So just going back up to the Jimmy Butler trade. Yep, so the Heat got Kyle Anderson, Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, and a protected first-round pick. The Jazz got Dennis Schroeder, as we mentioned earlier, and then the Pistons received Lindy Waters III, Josh Richardson, and a second-round pick, right? So that was the complete Warriors trade with Jimmy. And then we also got a Raptors trade, right? So basically, the Raptors received Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans, and then the Pelicans received Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick, right? So pretty insane. Brandon Ingram is actually injured right now. So, I mean, Raptors could have a little something going. They got, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, quickly, Hurdle, right? However you would pronounce his name, the guy at the center. And then now BI, right? So pretty interesting. I mean, the East, anybody could come up, right? That's just how, like uncomparable in terms of the East and West is, right? Where you can have a breakout year as an East team and you can probably make it to at least playing like the Pistons, right? Literally last year they were just poverty. This year they actually could make the playoffs, right? So yeah, so we'll see what they do with that lineup, whatever Brandon Ingram does get healthy. And then last but not very least, we have actually so far, right, because the trade deadline actually ends officially at 3 p.m. EST, right? I believe it's EST, but 3 p.m. Later on today, so there's still time for something crazy to happen, but we'll see. I actually highly doubt it, but the Lakers received Mark Williams from the Hornets, right? So obviously we all know Lakers needed a big man, right? We can't have Jackson Hayes starting at the center, so we got Mark Williams for that now. And then the Hornets received Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, 2031 unprotected first-round pick, and then a 2030 pick swap, right, from the Lakers. So Lakers are definitely getting there. I'm not going to lie. This roster alone, obviously, we're making the playoffs, right, for sure. They're going to end up making playoffs. We'll see how far they can make it. I definitely do think Western Conference Finals is not out the question, and even the finals, right, is not out the question, because if you have Luka and Bron, anything is possible, right? So yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.